Can you get pregnant from pre-cum? This is a question many people have, but often feel too shy to ask. It's a common topic surrounded by myths and a lot of confusion. So let's clear the air and get to the facts. Understanding our bodies is the first step towards making informed and healthy choices for ourselves. So let's dive deep into this million-dollar question, can separate fact from fiction. First, what exactly is pre-cum? The technical term for it is pre-ejaculate fluid. It's a clear, slippery fluid that is released from the penis during moments of sexual arousal, well before the main ejaculation happens. This fluid is produced by a small gland called the Cooper's gland. Its main job is to prepare the way. It neutralizes any leftover acidity in the urethra from urine, creating a safer path for sperm to travel. It also acts as a natural lubricant, making sexual activity more comfortable for everyone involved. So pre-cum itself isn't sperm, it's a predatory fluid. But here is where the big question comes in. Can this fluid contain sperm? And if so, is it enough to cause a pregnancy? The answer, in short, is yes. It is possible to get pregnant from pre-cum, even though the chances are lower compared to ejaculation. Let's explore how this can happen. The key thing to understand is that pre-cum doesn't naturally contain sperm. The Cooper's gland, which produces pre-cum, does not produce sperm. Sperm is made in the testes and stored elsewhere. However, during arousal and sexual activity, things can get mixed up inside the male reproductive tract. Sperm can leak from its storage areas and mix with the pre-ejaculate fluid as it passes through the urethra. This means that the pre-cum that leaves the body can sometimes carry live, active sperm along with it. Think of it like a river. The pre-cum is the initial flow of water, but it can pick up things, in this case sperm, that are already sitting along the riverbank, which is the urethra. Several scientific studies have looked into this. They wanted to find out how often sperm is actually present in pre-cum. The results are quite mixed, which adds to the confusion. Some studies found a significant number of men had sperm in their pre-ejaculate. One study published in the journal Human Fertility tested pre-ejaculate samples from a group of men before ejaculation. They found that a surprising percentage of the participants had motile, or moving sperm, in their pre-cum. Another study found similar results, concluding that sperm can and does leak into pre-ejaculate fluid. However, other studies have found the opposite. They've tested samples and found no sperm at all. So why the different results? It could be due to differences in the men tested, the methods used, or simply the fact that it doesn't happen every single time for every single person. The amount of sperm can vary greatly from person to person, and even from one time to the next for the same person. The number of sperm in pre-cum is generally much lower than the number found in a full ejaculation. An average ejaculation can contain tens of millions of sperm per milliliter. Pre-cum, if it contains sperm at all, might only have a few thousand. But here's the surprising fact. It only takes one single sperm to fertilize an egg. Just one. Out of the millions that are released, only one is needed to travel through the cervix, into the uterus, and up to the fallopian tubes to meet an egg. So even if the number of sperm in pre-cum is low, the possibility is not zero. This leads us to the pull-out method, also known as withdrawal or coitus interruptus. This is a method where the penis is withdrawn from the vagina before ejaculation occurs. Many people rely on this as their primary form of birth control, believing that if there's no ejaculation inside, there's no risk of pregnancy. However, because of the potential for sperm in pre-cum, the pull-out method is not the most reliable way to prevent pregnancy. Pre-cum is released without the person's control. It happens automatically during arousal, long before the feeling of ejaculation begins. This means that sperm could potentially be deposited in the vagina long before the penis is pulled out. How effective is the pull-out method really? According to research from organizations like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, its effectiveness varies a lot. With perfect use, meaning the person pulls out every single time before ejaculation without any error. It's estimated to be about 96% effective. This means that out of 100 couples using this method perfectly for a year, about 4 could become pregnant. But let's be realistic. Perfect use is very difficult to achieve in the real world. The timing has to be exact, and in the heat of the moment, mistakes can happen. With typical use, which accounts for human error, the effectiveness of the pull-out method drops significantly. Under typical use, it's estimated that about 22 out of 100 couples, or roughly 1 in 5, will experience a pregnancy within a year. That's a much higher risk, and it's largely because of the presence of pre-cum and the difficulty of timing the withdrawal perfectly every time. So if you are sexually active and your goal is to prevent pregnancy, relying solely on the pull-out method is a gamble. There are many other forms of contraception that are far more reliable and effective. These include barrier methods like condoms, which not only prevent pregnancy, but also protect against sexually transmitted infections, STIs. Condoms work by creating a physical barrier, stopping any fluid, including pre-cum and semen, from entering the vagina. Other highly effective options include hormonal methods like the birth control pill, the patch, the ring, or long-acting reversible contraceptives like IUDs and implants. These methods work by preventing ovulation, the release of an egg, so there's nothing for any sperm to fertilize. It's important to talk with a healthcare provider to find the best method for you and your partner based on your health, lifestyle, and preferences. Knowledge is power, and understanding the risks helps you make empowered decisions about your sexual health. So, to summarize the million-dollar question, can you get pregnant from pre-cum? Yes, you absolutely can. The risk may be lower than with ejaculation, but it is a real risk nonetheless. Pre-cum can, and sometimes does contain live sperm that is capable of fertilizing an egg. Relying on the pull-out method alone is not a foolproof way to prevent pregnancy and carries a significant risk with typical use. Your body and your future are important. Taking control of your reproductive health starts with having the right information. Don't be afraid to ask questions and seek out reliable answers. Your health and well-being are worth it. For more clear and straightforward information on sexual health, be sure to check out more videos here at Sex Education Repo.